Okay, so guys, today we will go through with the control connection in your SD-WAN controllers. This is the first topic which we will go through with that. And the second topic for today's session is SD-WAN controller bring up sequence basically. When we will start your SD-WAN device, what is the sequence basically, how they will communicate with each other? Because you know, if I'll open my topology here, in this topology, if you will check, all your managed routers, these routers, what they used to do, they will communicate with your controllers, right? They will communicate with your vbond, with your vmanager, with your vsmart, right? And what they will make some kind of DTLS connections with them. They will make these DTLS connections to exchange some control information, right? Or control connection information. Because what we have done in your SD-WAN, if I'll tell you the some basics of your SD-WAN, so what I can do, let me just open one more. So if you know guys, right, what we have done in your SD-WAN from the router, right? Let's say this is a router. What we have done, we have take out the control plane of this router, right? And we have take out the management plane of this router, and this router only having the data plane, right? Now, because we have taken out this control plane functionality and management plane functionality, and we have basically introduced the SD-WAN controllers, which is control plane activities take care by the vSmart controller, and your management plane activity will take care by the vManage controllers, right? These are the controllers which we are having now. Because we have removed the control plane and management plane from this router, which means now if this router wants to, if we want to manage this router, which means we need to communicate with this vmanager, right? If this router needs to do any kind of control plane activities, then he needs to communicate with the vsmart, right? Now how we will make sure he will communicate with this particular controller securely? So this is the topic, guys, which I am gonna cover today. How they will communicate with these controllers, how they will make the connection between these controllers. What is the procedure to make this connection? What are the port numbers involved, basically? So we will discuss everything in detail. But if you remember, guys, in that router, right? If you have a one traditional router, let's suppose this is the traditional router I'm having. Let's suppose this router have some management plane, it is having some control plane, and it is also having some data plane, right? If you remember, these management plane, data plane, or control plane, if they wants to communicate with each other, what is the component they used to have basically if they wants to communicate with each other? Guys, just reply on a chat. What is the one component we will be having in a router? So that component name is switch fabric, right? This component name is switch fabric. Now, because this proves that, guys, your control plane will communicate with the management plane, right? Your management plane will communicate with the data plane, right? Which means whatever controllers now we are having, like your vSmart controller, your vManager controller, your vBond controllers, right? They will also communicate with each other, which means they will also make the permanent connection with each other, right? Because this switch fabric thing is also basically introduced here, which means these vManager, vBond, and vSmart needs to communicate with each other. So guys, now we are discuss all these kind of things in your today's class. Now, if I'll go into this topology here, in this topology, I have my vManager, I have my vSmart, 1 and 2, and I have my B bond, guys. What used to happen? My V manager and my B bond, they will communicate with each other. Okay. My V smart 1 will communicate with my V smart 2. V smart will communicate with the B bond, guys. And your V manager will also communicate with your V smart. All these controllers, they will communicate with each other. Now, if they want to stable the, or if they want to establish this particular communication, now how they will communicate, what are the port numbers they will use? Is that communication which is happening between V manager and V smart, or V smart with the B bond, or V smart to V smart? It is secured. How they will basically take care here, the network security part, right? So we will discuss all these things in detail now. So to start with this thing, let me just go here. So what used to happen basically, your V manager, your V bond, and your V smart controller, what they will form the DTLS tunnel by default. Just remember, this is the default behavior. What they used to do, they used to communicate by default using the DTLS tunnel. And just remember, your B bond controllers, it always listen, or it will always make the connection using the DTLS. But between your V manager and your V smarts, you can either use DTLS, either you can use TLS. Both options you will get. Okay, so all controllers makes the permanent DTLS connection with each other. Just remember, guys, which means your B1 will make one permanent connection with B manager. Your V manager will make one permanent connection with V smart, and your V smart will make one permanent connection with B bond, which means they always have a one permanent DTLS tunnel. So that DTLS tunnel is established between all these controllers. Now, each core on V manager and V smart makes a permanent DTLS connection to the B bond. So guys, if you remember, in the production environment, basically, if you are going with the on-prem deployment or any type of deployment, if you have a vManager, in this vManager, you can basically define up to 16 CPUs. And if you have your vSmart controller, in your vSmart controller, you can able to define up to 8 CPUs. These are the virtual CPUs, guys. I can say vCPUs. Now, in case of your vManager, apart from these 16 vCPUs, you can use 8 virtual CPUs for making the DTLS connection, guys. Your 8 virtual CPUs will participate into the DTLS connection. If you have vSmart, if you have a 8 CPUs, then you can use these all 8 CPUs to basically create a DTLS tunnel between your B bond controllers, basically. So what if you will see this line, each core on vManager and vSmart makes a permanent DTLS connection with B bond. So if I'll go here, and guys, there is only one DTLS tunnel, either TLS tunnel between your vManager and vSmart. So if I'll go into this picture here, so let's suppose right now, this is my vManager. On my vManager, I am just having 4 cores. I have my vSmart. On my vSmart, I am having 2 core. 2 core means I have a CPUs. I have a CPU. That CPU have core 0 and core 1. On this vManager, I have a CPUs, 4 core CPU, which is having core 0, core 1, 2, 3. These are the CPUs I'm having, which means each core on this vManager basically will make a permanent DTLS tunnel with B bond. Basically, this is your DTLS tunnel. And by default, they will use the port number 12346. This is the first port they will use. The second port which they will use is 12446. Then the next port is 12546. Then the next port is 12646. But guys, in your B bond, just remember it always have the one core only. It just have core 0. And it will always listen the request on same port 12346. So guys, this is the default port used by the B bond for making the DTLS tunnel. So between your vManager and vBond, if your vManager have the 8 core of CPUs, then it will make around 4 DTLS tunnel. Just remember, this is the interview questions, guys. This is the interview question. Now, any of vSmart basically, because it is having 2 cores only, so it will make 2 DTLS tunnel with your vBond. At your vSmart end, they will use the port number 12346 and 12446. And here at your B bond end, they will use 12346 and 12346. Now, between your vManager and your vSmart, you will get the option either you can use the DTLS. This is the default as well, guys. By default, they will use DTLS, and that time they will use the port number 12346 at both the end. And if you will use the TLS, then you will see here TCP 23456, and here it will use the random port. Okay, this is how they will create a DTLS tunnels with each other, guys, in case of your control connections. Now, let's basically verify this thing, guys. But before I will verify these things, let me try to explain you one more thing, which is bring up sequence of events. Guys, for now, please do not ask any question on a chat for some time. Okay, let me just complete the topic. Okay. So, if you want, guys, what I will recommend, I highly recommend you can basically refer this particular document. I'll give you the link of that document. Okay, now, in your bring up sequence, what you need to understand, in your SD-WAN bring up sequence, what is the sequence basically they will follow generally? So what used to happen when you will start the device basically, so first your vManager will start basically. In your vManager, we have seen there is a one service is your network monitoring, or we can say network management service. This NMS service will start, or this NMS software start in your vManager. In your vBond, basically now we have to start the vBond, and after that we will start the vSmart. So this is the guys flow. Okay, in this flow we have to turn on your devices, vManager, then vBond, then vSmart. And after that, once all your 3 devices is on, what will happen? In your vManager, NMS and your vBond orchestrator, they will authenticate each other. What happens? Once your device will turn on in your topology, if I will start this device, if I start this device, and if I start these 2 devices, and after that, the first thing which will happen is your vManager and vBond will authenticate each other. So authentication will happen between your vManager and vBond. Now let's see all these events basically, how this thing is happening. I'll start the vManager, I'll start the vBond, and I'll start this particular switch. I'll go into my vManager, I'll start the capture on my interface, it's 0 by 0. So I'm starting the captures here. I'll also go into my vBond, and I will start the captures on gig 0 by 0 interface, because I will show you the Wireshark captures, then only you will understand the things properly. Okay. So let's see. Meanwhile, I will also take the access of these devices. So I'll go here. I'll open it. We will wait here. Guys, this CLI is visible to everyone. Or do I need to increase the size? It's visible, right? Okay, I'll got lots of yes. But let me see if I can increase this thing little bit. Go to into advanced. Where this appearance? Okay, now I think it is in a proper shape. Cool. Okay. So right now let me log in into my vManager here. Admin. I will get the access. I will log in here on vBond. vBond, I am already logged into the vBond. Now, what I will do, if I'll go into my Wireshark captures here, you will see they have exchanged some captures and you can see some packets here, right? These are the DTLS packets, guys. These are the DTLS packets. Now, what I can do, let me just stop my captures here and let me just stop the captures here. Okay, now I will just go here. Now, guys, what is the, where is this IP address? 10.110.1.10. This is the IP address of your vManager. And this is the IP address of your vBond. So just remember, guys, always your connection is initiated by the vManager towards the vBond, because in your vManager, if you remember, when we have done the configuration, right, that time we have done some system configuration, that time we have defined the vBond IP address, right? So because my vSmart know the vBond IP address, so that's why he is communicating. And he will send here DTLS client hello. You will see multiple clients hello messages here. So he has sent around four client hello messages, and after that you will get the 4 replies. Hello verify request, hello verify request, hello verify request, and after that you will see again client hello. Then after that you will see some server hello, then certificate, server hello, certificates, then client hello, server hello. Like you will see some, because why you will see here multiple client hello messages, why you are able to see, Because guys, as you know, in your vManager, we have around 4 core of CPUs, right? If you remember, because in your eBenji, right? If I'll go here, if I'll add my vManager, because I will go step by step, so you will understand. You will see by default, it will get the 4 CPUs, which means it is having 4 core. If it is having 4 core, according to our theory, what we have discussed, each core will initiate a connection. Each core will create a DTLS connection, right? So what happening here? Right now, each core is sending the client hello message towards your V1 from vSmart. Each core will send. And after that, your V1, what he will reply with the client, reply with the server hello packet. So if you want to see this detail, because I have written that this is the DTLS handshake process, guys. After turning on these devices, what will happen? We are looking now authentication between your Cisco vManager controller and Cisco V1 controller. What's happening here? I have my vManager and I have my V1. What happening? Your vManager, what it will send one client hello message towards the V1. And from V1, what we will get the hello verify request message. And after that, it will send the client hello message again. And from the V1, we will get the server hello, server certificate, server key exchange, right? We will get these messages from the server side. If you will go into your Wireshark captures, what happened actually? Just give me a second. Okay. So now, if you go here, we can see client hello, then we are getting server hello, server certificate. And right now, why we are able to say here 2 packets for the same, because fragmentation is happening. And this is the default behavior, guys. If you have any device who is not allowing the fragmented packets, your DTLS tunnel will not come. If you have any kind of switch, let's suppose in our organization, in our topology, let's suppose we have this switch. Or let's suppose here I have one firewall, and on this firewall I have configured, it will not allow any kind of fragmented packet. And all the traffic is going through this firewall between your vManager and vBond, right? In that case, your DTLS tunnel will not come. So always remember, guys, you have allowed the fragmentation between your vManager and vBond, because in DTLS, this is the necessary thing. Okay. So go back here. Now, so we have a server hello and server certificate. So if I'll open these messages, if I'll open these 2 messages, here what happening basically, this is the UDP packets. Inside this, we have a DTLS header, right? This is the normal server hello. I'm not going with the details here because this details we have already discussed now. And after that here, what's happening? In the server hello packet, whatever packet we are getting from the B bond right now, he's sending the server hello and server certificate. Here what it will send the certificate chain. Certificate chain which includes your root CA. And after that it will send you the B bond ID cert. B bond identity certificate, which we have basically issues to this B bond, basically, just remember. Now, this B bond ID cert, what it is having? It is having the serial number. This B bond ID cert, it is having the serial number, guys. This certificate is having the organization name. This certificate is have these two things, serial number and organization name. So if you go here, if I'll click over there into the next packet, where if I want to check the certificate details, this is the certificate details. So we have received a certificate of 928 bytes. If you will open this certificate, you will get everything. You will get everything here. This particular certificate is issued to B bonds. You will get the B bond details here. This certificate having the serial number. This is the serial number. Apart from this certificate having some signature, issuer, all these details you will get, right? And you will also see here it is having the organization name. It is having this organization name details. So, and after that, what it is having one validity, subject, alternative name. You can see all this detail. It is having the public key as well, right? So always remember, in this certificate, when this V bond he has presented his certificate, that certificate have this serial number. It is having the organization name. Now, when this V manager, he will receive this certificate. So what he will do, now this V manager, what? Because in this V manager, we have already put the root CA, right? Root certificate is already there in this V manager. So what it will do, my V manager, whatever certificate is presented by B1, it will check it is basically signed by this root C or not. It will validate the signature. It will basically do the certificate validation. And after that, what? It will also extract the serial number from this certificate. From which certificate? This B bond ID cert. It will extract the serial number and it will extract the organization name. And now in your V manager, if you remember, when we have added the B bond, right? That time when we have added this V bond and when we have installed the ID certificate on your V manager for V bond, that time we will get one serial number, right? So it will match this serial number of B bond with the present with whatever serial number it is having on your V manager. If both will match, it will basically consider this is the right person. Apart from that, basically, it will also check the organization name. Organization name is matching or not. If organization name is same, which means this is the trusted person. This is the right person, basically. This is the trusted person. This is how basically authentication between your V manager and V bond happens, guys. Just remember, they will go through with the entire DTLS handshake. Now, to understand in a much better way, let me just tell you one more thing here. So, interface description. So what I can do, let me copy this IP address and let me open. HTTPS. So this is the GUI of my vManager. I will log in with admin and admin. Login. Now, if you go here into your certificate store, if you go into the controller, now, if you look for this controller, which is your B1 controller, for B1 controller, it is having the serial number, right? This is the serial number, guys. It will check from the certificate. It will check this particular serial number. If you will basically check whole content of this certificate, you will able to see this serial number, whatever we have highlighted here, starting with E51 and ending with E4. You can able to see that particular serial number. E51 ending with 34E4. This is the correct serial number, guys. So this is the first verification which is done by the vManager. And you can see this particular details is sent by the vBond to your vManager. This is the packet coming from your vBond towards your vManager. And after that, what? Because in your vManager, if you remember, here we have configured this in your settings. We have configured this organization name, which is Sianets.com. It will basically also match this organization name, and it will get this organization name here. This is the organization name. So this is the second verification it will do. And apart from this, like in your SSL handshake and your DTLS handshake, whatever certificate is presented by the server, right now vBond is acting as a server, right? It will validate that certificate. So three things it will validate: your organization name, your certificate serial number, and your organization, and your certificate signature. Basically, it will validate these things, and like that, the validation happens between your vBond and vManager. And after that, what? We have got one more message from your vBond towards the certificate, again for the second message, because here we have got two client hello message. Now what your vManager is asking to the vBond? Certificate client key exchange, basically. Now your vManager 10.1101.10 towards your vBond, what? Now they are sending this. In this message only, you will see certificate request, right? What is this request? That request is sent by the vBond towards your vManager. What he is saying? He is saying to your vManager, can you present his certificate as well? So in your vManager, if you remember, we have this vmanager.id cert. Now your vManager will send that particular certificate, because it's a mutual authentication, guys. Both devices needs to authenticate each other. Now go here and look for the certificate. This is the request. This is the next packet coming from your vManager towards the vBond, and look for the certificate. This certificate is for the vManager. This is the vManager ID cert, guys. This is the vManager ID cert. It is having some serial number, right? All their details it is having. If I'll put in this way, you will get more information. So these are the two messages. We have a certificate. All this detail you can see in the certificates. And after that, what we have a record layer information, client key exchange information. So now let me come here, go up here. Now server hello, server certificate, server key exchange, right? Certificate request by the server hello done. And after that, your client, what? He will send his client certificate, which is your vManage ID certificate. Then client key exchange, change hyperspec, finished and finished. Like that, basically they will complete the handshake process between each other, basically. And once your vManager, because right now your vManager is authenticating vBond and your vBond authenticating your vManager. Like that, they are doing the authentication. Okay, now if you go here into the CLI. Now, if you will run this command, so control connection in your vManager, right now you will see why, guys, I have reduced the size of my font, because you will not get the details properly. Okay, that was the reason for that. But so you will see here These are the connections I'm having right now. So in your B bond, I have one connection with the B bond, another one. Right now I'm having around 4 control connection with the B bond. You can see the private IP address of your B bond. Port number is 12346, 12346, 12346, 12346 at the B bond end. But from the V manager, you will see 12346, then 12346, 12346, and 12346. Now, here we are basically we are seeing the same port, but if you go into the V bond, if you run this command, so control orchestration, or its command is so orchestration control connections, enter, you will get the details here. Right now we do have a 4 connections here as well. This is the IP address of your vManager, and right now I have run this command on vBond. One connection with 10.1101.10 on port 12346. Next port is 12446, then 12546 and 12646 basically. And guys, this is the correct thing here. If you have seen this image, this thing is proved, guys. One connection on 12346, then 12446, 12546, and 12646. This is true. So they will basically make, these are the permanent DTLS connections, guys. If you want in a more detailed way, guys, always go into your vCell and you can type here netstat -n. So you will get lots of big output, guys, here. See the connections here. Right now, because these are the DTLS connections, so you will see connection is in a established state basically, which means right now this connection is in active state. Port number is 12346, 12346. So guys, here I have seen it will display two. This is the one connection, this is the second, then third, then fourth, like that. Okay, and you can check the port number at your B1 port is similar, right? 12346 only. But for vSmart 12346, then 12446. So this is the another command which we can also try and check. You can also run this command with the grep option. Grep 10.1101.10. 1.11. So output is very big, guys. Looks like grep is not working properly here. Okay, so if I can try maybe in this way. Now in the B bond also, if you type vcell netstat -, it's just a normal command, guys. Basically, it's netstat -n filter grep 10.1101.10 IP of V bond, and you will see it is having 4 connections. So this is the command, netstat -n grep this. These are some Linux commands only, which you can also run here basically to get the details. Okay. So guys, this thing is proved now, right? And we have seen the authentication process between your vBond and your vSmart. Sorry, in your vManager, how they are authenticating, and after that you will see some application data, and they have created the 4 DTLS connection with each other. Now, what I can do, let me just stop this capture. Let me also save for the reference purpose, guys. vManage log 01. Let me close this as well. Now, what I will do now in the next thing, now we will look for the authentication between your Cisco vSmart controller and Cisco vWAN controller, basically how they are authenticating with each other. Go here. So we have seen vManager and vWAN has completed authentication and they have created the DTLS tunnel, right?